The allure of startup success stories often paints a picture of effortless triumph, filled with inspiring pitches and instant acclaim. We hear about the lucky few who capture users, investors, and funding, seemingly overnight. But what often gets lost in the narrative is the sheer volume of work and strategic planning that underpins these victories. The reality is far less glamorous and far more demanding. For every startup that achieves widespread recognition, there are countless others that falter. While commonly cited reasons for failure include inadequate market research, financial mismanagement, and team deficiencies, the root cause might be something more fundamental: a romanticized perception of the startup world, coupled with a lack of awareness of the rigorous effort required. In this video, we will delve into the often overlooked groundwork essential for reaching that crucial first milestone, the minimum viable product, MVP. We'll demystify the process and provide a practical guide on how to build an MVP, outlining the crucial steps and considerations that are often glossed over in the typical success story. We'll explore the necessary work that goes into building a solid foundation, increasing your chances of joining the ranks of those who truly make it. Instead of focusing on the flurry of success, we'll focus on the concrete actions needed to transform an idea into a tangible product ready for the market. A minimum viable product, or MVP, is essentially the most basic version of a software product, stripped down to its core functionality. It's designed to address the most pressing customer needs with a minimal feature set. When embarking on the journey of building an MVP, remember this key principle. Keep it simple. The goal is to create a product that's functional enough to be released quickly, allowing you to test your core assumptions and gather real-world user feedback. This approach optimizes resource allocation, minimizing wasted effort and accelerating the time to market. Essentially, you're testing the waters with your idea without diving headfirst into a full-scale development project. Think of it like this. An MVP could be a bare-bones website with only essential features, a mobile app focusing on just one or two key functionalities, or a physical prototype with a basic design. The crucial element is that it solves a genuine problem for your target audience without getting bogged down in unnecessary bells and whistles. Once the MVP is launched, the real work begins. This initial release is followed by a cycle of continuous improvement, driven by in-depth analysis of user behavior and feedback. By carefully monitoring how the MVP performs in the market, you can gauge demand for the overall product or specific features. Subsequent updates and new releases are then rolled out iteratively based on this valuable data, ensuring that your product evolves in a direction that truly resonates with your users. The MVP approach isn't just a theoretical concept. It's a proven strategy employed by many of today's most successful companies. Let's look at some real-world examples. Airbnb. Before becoming a global hospitality giant, Airbnb started with a remarkably simple MVP. The founders, facing a need to earn extra income, created a basic website, airbedandbreakfast.com. They literally put 3 air mattresses in their loft and listed it online. Their initial landing page didn't even have a payment system. Guests had to pay in person. This seemingly significant hurdle highlighted a key user need that was addressed in later versions. Airbnb's story perfectly illustrates how an MVP can validate a core concept and how user feedback fuels iterative development. Facebook. Now a social media behemoth, Facebook's origins are surprisingly humble. Initially launched as the Facebook, it was a bare-bones website exclusively for Harvard students. Its success within that limited user base fueled its expansion, first to other Boston-area colleges, then the Ivy League, and eventually universities across the US and Canada. This phased rollout, driven by user adoption and feedback, allowed Facebook to refine its platform before opening it up to a global audience in September 2006, requiring only a valid email address and a minimum age of 13. These examples demonstrate that starting small with an MVP can be the first step towards building something truly extraordinary. By focusing on core functionality and iteratively responding to user feedback, these companies transform simple beginnings into industry-leading platforms. They show us that an MVP isn't about perfection. It's about learning, adapting. Many aspiring entrepreneurs struggle to get their product in front of users for testing, a hurdle that often proves fatal. This is where the power of an MVP truly shines. By committing to building an MVP, founders take a crucial step beyond the ideation stage, demonstrating the practical potential of their concept in the real market. An MVP provides a tangible starting point, allowing for iterative development guided by actual user feedback and market validation. This process dramatically increases the likelihood of achieving a return on investment, a critical milestone that eludes many startups. Therefore, successfully navigating the MVP development phase is not just important, it's often the deciding factor between a product that thrives and one that never sees the light of day. It's about transforming a vision into a tangible reality, and that's a significant achievement in itself. One of the most attractive advantages of the MVP approach, particularly in the dynamic Indian market, is its cost effectiveness and rapid time to market. Developing a full-fledged application right from the start demands substantial investment, both in terms of capital and time. An MVP, by concentrating on core features, significantly lowers this initial investment barrier. Let's take the example of launching an on-demand service app in India. Building a complete ecosystem with separate apps for drivers and customers, a powerful back-end infrastructure, and an admin dashboard could easily take 6 months and require a budget upwards of 2 crores. However, opting for an MVP strategy enables you to launch a working application with essential functionalities in just 1 to 3 months, with a considerably smaller budget, perhaps around 3 to 20 lakhs. This allows you to test the Indian market, onboard early adopters, and gather crucial data with a fraction of the resources, providing invaluable insights before committing to a full-scale development. This efficiency is a significant advantage of the MVP methodology, especially in a price-sensitive and fast-paced market like India. As a direct result of the advantages discussed earlier, MVP development services can be a lifesaver for your Indian startup or business, shielding it from unnecessary headaches. It allows you to validate your app idea and gauge its true potential in the Indian market without incurring substantial financial and business risks. The example we touched upon earlier illustrates that if your app idea doesn't resonate with the Indian audience, opting for an MVP first can potentially save you up to 5 months of development time and approximately 2 crore. While this is a simplified example, it clearly demonstrates the significant risks that MVP development can help you mitigate in the dynamic Indian market. Because an MVP is designed to be a functional product that addresses core user needs, you have the opportunity to begin generating revenue from its launch. Naturally, this requires a carefully considered and appropriate monetization strategy, but it's definitely achievable. With a successful approach, you can then funnel the profits back into the app for future enhancements and feature expansions. This creates a more self-sustaining model, reducing your reliance on external funding from investors. Investors are looking for tangible evidence that your app concept has market traction and that you possess a solid business plan deserving of their capital. Nothing demonstrates this more effectively than a functioning product and real-world user data, assuming your idea holds merit. Therefore, building an MVP provides you with this crucial evidence, fostering investor confidence and significantly increasing your chances of securing funding. Developing an MVP allows you to test your app idea in the real world, revealing actual user demand and gathering invaluable feedback directly from your target audience. This feedback is crucial for building a truly successful app. After launching your MVP and collecting this vital information, Subsequent updates and enhancements can be driven by real-world data rather than relying solely on assumptions. As we've discussed, an MVP is the initial phase of product development. However, even the MVP development process itself involves a series of well-defined stages and key milestones. Let's delve into a step-by-step guide on how to build an MVP, outlining the crucial phases involved. By adhering to this structured approach, you'll not only gain a clear understanding of MVP development, but also significantly improve your odds of crafting a successful product that effectively addresses a genuine need for your target users. Discovery phase is absolutely essential when embarking on MVP development. It's the key to avoiding budget overruns, mitigating potential risks, and ultimately achieving product market fit. Don't be tempted to bypass this initial stage and jump straight into development with a hired team, thinking it will save time or money. It won't. Any reputable development agency will insist on beginning every project with a thorough discovery phase. The real differentiator lies in the depth and quality of this exploration. This stage is all about clearly defining the problems your product will address and the value it must deliver to achieve significant success. Your MVP app development should focus on a well-defined target audience. Narrowing your user base allows for more precise data collection and analysis. Thorough research and analysis are foundational to building a successful MVP. Our discovery team dives deep into market analysis and develops detailed profiles of your ideal target users. Here's what the research phase entails. Validate your idea. What specific pain point or need does your MVP address? Assess the market. Analyze the market potential and identify your key competitors. Determine monetization. Define a clear and viable monetization strategy. Test your assumptions. Put your hypotheses to the test to ensure they hold true. Plan. A deep understanding of your target audience and a well-defined hypothesis are crucial for determining the essential features of your MVP. Therefore, at this stage, we meticulously select the right functionalities for your future MVP. Here's a breakdown of the planning process. Map user flows. Define user goals. Outline the steps users will take to achieve those goals, and optimize these journeys for efficiency. Select technologies and define specs. Choose the appropriate technologies and create detailed development specifications. Establish design guidelines. Gather requirements for the app's design and user interface. Prioritize features. Create a prioritized list of features for your MVP and outline features to be included in the future product roadmap. Once this stage is complete, you're fully prepared to kick off your MVP development process with a clear vision of its functionality and a solid understanding of the required financial and time commitments. Perhaps the most significant advantage of a comprehensive discovery phase is that you're equipped with sufficient data and validation to attract initial investments. This allows you to embark on building your solution with confidence and the financial backing needed to sustain it beyond the initial release. Begin the development process by building a prototype. This allows you to test whether users can intuitively navigate and interact with your future app. Once the prototype is ready, create task scenarios and recruit testing participants. Aim for 3 to 5 participants representing each of your defined customer personas. It's crucial to exclude industry experts from this testing phase to get a genuine understanding of the average user experience. You can employ various testing methodologies, such as A/B testing, eye tracking, or in-depth interviews to gather comprehensive feedback. After user testing is complete, you can move on to designing your MVP and initiating development. To optimize both time and budget, we advise against implementing overly complex design elements or intricate graphics initially. Instead, prioritize creating an app that is easy to adapt and intuitive from the very first interaction. Your MVP is built and ready for its first users. Instead of a full-scale launch, consider a phased rollout, starting with a small, select group of your target audience. This soft launch allows you to gather crucial feedback and iterate before a wider release, significantly reducing potential risks. As your early adopters begin using the app, closely monitor their experiences. Pay special attention to user feedback. Collect and analyze feedback diligently. This will inform your next steps, helping you refine usability and prioritize features for future development. Monetization testing. Experiment with different monetization models to determine what resonates with your users and if they are willing to pay for your product. On the marketing front, tailor your approach to your specific audience. For startups, a common mix includes targeted advertising, influencer collaborations, social media engagement, community building, PR outreach, and event participation, either as a sponsor or by pitching your app. Remember, successful event participation hinges on meticulous planning, understanding your audience, and crafting a compelling program. The ultimate objective is to generate excitement and build a strong brand presence. Remember, building an MVP isn't a one-and-done process. It's about testing your core assumptions and validating your product's value. This means the journey doesn't end with the initial release. It's a continuous cycle of launching, analyzing, and iterating. After each release, whether it's testing a new hypothesis or a new feature, a thorough analysis of the results is crucial to inform your next steps. User feedback reigns supreme at this stage. It's your most valuable asset for understanding what's working and what needs improvement. To get a comprehensive picture of your product's performance, track these key metrics. Overall product engagement. Dive into website traffic, including sources, conversion rates, App Store statistics, downloads, ratings, reviews, user registrations, signups, the number of orders, and the percentage of paying users. Monitor social media engagement and subscriber growth to gauge your brand's reach. Business viability. Keep a close eye on your customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, and churn rate. These metrics will reveal the health and sustainability of your business model. If your MVP is meeting or exceeding expectations, congratulations! You've validated your core idea, and it's time to double down on development. This iterative process continues, refining and expanding your MVP until it evolves into a fully fledged, feature-rich software solution. This phase, the journey beyond the initial launch, is where the real magic happens and could be a whole guide in itself. We strongly advocate for this iterative approach. It's a proven strategy for optimizing your resources and minimizing wasted time and money.